What if every AI agent could be seen, tested, critiqued, and improved, not just by developers, but by anyone? And then another question is, does anybody want to actually read the whole agent output? The answer is of course not even developers. So today I'm going to introduce Neatlogs, which takes all those agent outputs and turns them into something that's readable, interactive, and even actionable. In this video, I'm going to show you how this works. We're going to spin up a crew of AI agents. We're going to run them. We're going to view their outputs inside Neatlogs and then turn the real feedback into real pull requests. And then we'll actually chat with the whole agent output itself, also called the trace, inside of Neatlogs. So Neatlogs is this new observability and collaboration for AI agents. Basically, it takes all of your outputs from AI agents and puts them into something that's actionable, and it kind of organizes all of the outputs together for you. So here we have all of the agents. We can choose each one and select all the outputs from each of those agents. It also has cursor sessions, which means that we can have a cursor agent in the background running for a trace or part of something that we didn't like and come up with a solution, maybe something that errored out. The idea is so that we don't have to scroll through hundreds of lines of dialogue in a terminal. Instead, we can go to each agent, figure out what happened and what we can improve. We can even add comments to each parts of the output. So anybody that's not a developer can come in, can see the output, and then add their own comments for the developer to see later on. So here what I can do, I can see everything that ran. I can actually come in here to Neatlogs, which you would just log in with any account. Okay, great. So basically I have a Neatlogs crew that has a research agent, a summarization agent, and then the research and summarization task, and then the crew itself. Okay, so once I run this, what you would do is you would integrate your GitHub with Neatlogs. So after it runs, and you've integrated your GitHub to Neatlogs, then you're going to be able to see the output from all of the agents. So here, for instance, I have my CrewAI. After I've logged in and created an account with Neatlogs, which is free, I'm going to choose CrewAI, choose View Project, and then I can see all of the traces or all the times that this crew of AI agents has been executed. In which you can see that this is nicely ordered by the traces, the trace response, so the actual output of the agent. And what we can do here is we can add feedback. So for instance, the data scientist, we can add the feedback here, and we can look at this, right? We can look at the response. This is something about like job agents and the impact, the responsibilities. And let's say that I did this for somebody. They came in here, they wanted to look at this, and then what they could do is they actually add feedback. So if I said this is incorrect, they want to actually give the rating a 2 out of 5 stars. And they want to expect more information about the job titles with the research and summary. Okay, so then what they could do is you could actually add additional documentation for the developer to see. So let's say I'm a product owner, product manager, and I want to say missing context. There is a retrieval mismatch. You know, maybe we need to add some policy and guardrails. Okay, so now what we can do is we can choose save or save and suggest fixes. Let's just save for now. Now the feedback was saved successfully. But let's say that not only that, I want to view the feedback, but I also want to suggest fixes. And so what happened was we had an agent in the background looking at this, and it proposed a solution, and then it gave an actual analysis of what we could send back to the developer. So in this case, there was just an error with the actual web URL. So this is saying that's from user input rather than the tool's internal logic. So that's good to know. But also what we could do, let's say I want to fix this with cursor. I can choose fix with cursor. And then now we have two options. We can either save to the board, which I'm going to show you, or we can actually fix with cursor. So what we can do is we can select this, then save to board. And so what's going to happen here is actually going to extract tasks from what we thought was what is a suggested fix. And then we can set the date for this. We can add to this. And then basically let's say that we just approve these. Now let's view the task board. So now what do we have here is we have a board that everybody can see, developers and non-developers. Anybody that's involved with the project can see this. And so we just created this on October 29th. And this basically gave the task of fixing the invalid URL input for job posting tool. You can assign this to somebody, you can set a date, and you can add more to this. But now let's say actually we want to fix this with cursor ourselves. We can say fix with cursor. You will give you the repository. It's actually going to go ahead and create another branch. It's not going to use the main branch. You should never do that. You have a cursor API key, and then it's going to go ahead and create a generated task, and then it's going to create the agent to fix this for us. Okay, so here we came up with the task, and let's just have a cursor agent do this for us. So now we don't even have to actually go to the developer. We can have the developer say, hey, this is the branch that we created with the fix. Take a look at this and then put that into the main branch. And you know it's working if you have the agent running down here. Okay, so now if we go back to traces, we can see here that cursor had proposed a fix for this feedback. So if I'm the developer and, depending on like the time zones, people will be working from at different times, I could come in here whenever it's, time to look at this again. I could view the feedback. So this was, obviously, this was not the intention or the intended output from this agent. So I'll look at this, okay, see everything that they had, and then also that they proposed a cursor fix. So in here, it says a validate a fix URL function was added to the crew.py to prepend HTTPS to URLs missing a scheme. A validated website search tool class was implemented, extending the website search tool to automatically apply this validation during initialization and execution. Okay, great. And then you can see here, it created a separate branch, not for the main branch, of course, which is great. You should never do that. And then as a developer, I could go in here. I can see that just 2 minutes ago, it added the URL validation website search tool. And here we go. So if you don't know, everything in green is what has been added. And so this is what it added. And I would look at this, I could probably test this myself. And then once this is fixed, I could add this to the main branch so that we can use from here on out. So the big takeaway from this is that with Neatlogs, you can not only just integrate your repository and everything that you're doing, that also means that anybody that's working on the project, including non-developers, that they can look at just the output, because that's all that matters. They can determine whether they like it or not, add feedback themselves, and then they can actually propose fixes themselves. So it's kind of like prompt engineering. And then once you see that as a developer, you can test it, put that back into the main branch, or put that so then we can use from then on out. And that is going to update the AI agents through everybody working together. So this is the idea that you can easily collaborate together without having to look at something. The big idea is that this is going to be easy to use. Okay, so you can collaborate with any project easily and everybody can work on this together. If you have any questions about Neatlogs, please let me know in the description below, and let me know your comments about observability in AI agents, because I don't think it's talked about enough, because it can be very hard to debug when something goes wrong. And here are some more videos for you to watch.